Crispy sound. It's Lit Book
What?
Reviews. Dude, that was too much. It's Lit Book Reviews. We are here again in the studio / bedroom, ready to rock. I am here with former welterweight champion Kamaru Usman. I am Leon Edwards. And we're ready to talk some more books. How's your day been, man?
Dude, this volume is loud.
It's not. It's just, I don't know
It's
what it
louder
is,
than
honestly.
before. I guess is it on the Mac?
It's the same
that's
exact
loud?
settings.
Like
It
our
looks
volume.
the same. No, the volumes, everything's the same.
I'm
as
saying
it's
like
always
the
been.
output volume into our ears. I'm
No,
not
it's
talking
the
about the
same.
recording. It is?
Yeah, it's all the same.
Bro, this ain't the same.
You're just wearing different,
Is this how loud it is for you?
yeah,
when you do
it's
it?
louder for me right now. I honestly don't know why, but it's loud. Maybe if I do this. No,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like your
okay. Is that better for you?
yeah, that's way better.
Okay. All right. Shut up. How was your day, man?
Dude, I was just hard. It was hard for me to think, dude. I was hearing you in my mind, and I'm like,
Get out,
I don't have
get
to
out.
think anymore. My day was good, man. I drove down from Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, wait.
Obviously, stopped, got some food, saw Books-a-Million, had to go in and do some business. You know?
Not a Books-a-Million.
Yep. I had to keep Big Pharma alive, you know?
Big Pharma. The
You
military-industrial
Screw
complex is
the little
thriving.
guys, man. I'm all about overpaying for books, but we're about to get into it. I mean, I got some deals, so
Yep.
I don't feel bad about my BAM Books-a-Million journey, you know?
That's good, man. So yeah, you went to Books-a-Million today. I went to Second and Charles again. I was working in Roswell, so I stopped by. I had time in between my two jobs. I stopped by and got 6 books for $25. You got 6 for $67 today.
I got 7 for $68.
I mean, that's still not
But
bad.
I got 4 hardbacks. Did you get any hardbacks?
No, I didn't get a single hardback. This one
But
here
you got
is
yours
from,
at Second and Charles?
yeah.
Okay.
So I have some from Second and Charles that I got, and then I'll go over my
Wait,
thrift
how many did you
books
get
that
again?
I got. I got 6.
For 20?
25. I mean, that's good.
I mean, what is that, like $4 average or something like that?
Yeah, but none of them were over 5, and then one of them, like this one, was only $1.
Wow. I mean, you can't beat that.
You really can't.
Mine, I guess, was still under 10. I was averaging under 10 per book, just barely.
I mean, that's still good, especially for getting
$62
hardbacks,
after
especially
that.
the fact that one of them in particular is usually $40 hardback.
All of these, which
Dude.
once we get into it, we'll see. I'll give the price of what it is, like on the back, like the actual, you know how they do
I'm going to
the
get you a
price.
shot collar, and whenever you talk this far away from the mic, I'm going to ding it.
The thing is once you moved to here, dude, I was like, that sounds perfect, honestly.
It's not, though. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. You go first. Hit me with a couple. We're doing a miniature book haul, and then we're going to dive into 2 books today. So let's hit these first.
So I've been trying to find other series because, you know, we don't really have a lot of books on the TBR, so need new things on there.
Is that sarcasm?
So anyway,
Yeah, let's just preface this with neither Andrew
was false.
or I need
no.
single more book.
A
I mean,
single
we're getting to the point where I'm having to clear off this desk every time we shoot because it's stacked with books because there's no room on our shelves.
Yeah, we no longer have room. But anyway, what's ironic, and I was telling Jesse this right before, Terry Pratchett, someone in like Discworld that I've seen, it's a classic in fantasy. You got to read it. It's definitely more comedic, less serious, but at the same time, like the world building's great. The writing is different and refreshing. And so anyway, just some people on BookTube, a lot of high praise for Terry Pratchett. So I was like, I want to get into Discworld. It's definitely something that's like smaller. I feel like it reminds me, again, I haven't read any Discworld, but it seems to almost be Murderbot Diaries-esque, to where like it would be a good palate cleanser in between stuff, to where apparently you can kind of start anywhere in the Discworld universe. Because I think there's a lot of books, like I think like 45.
So when you say Discworld, this is like
It's
Pratchett's Cosmere?
Yeah, I think so. Again, I haven't read any, so
Okay.
I'm not sure. But as I was doing research on where to start, like you can read it in order of when he released them, but some people say like that's just not the best way to do it. So anyway, I guess there's like different kind of phases of it where it follows different groups. Long story short, I ended up getting one called Mort. So it's about the character Death, and like his role.
I love him.
So anyway, I thought that was a cool little start. So I'd heard like good stuff about this one, and then Small Gods is one that I have heard is like potentially like one of the best, or like one of the best places to start. Again, I have no idea like where Small Gods starts off at. Mort was the one that I thought was the most interesting out of like reading into it because it follows the character of Death. So anyway, but these seem, they're like quick reads, like 250.
I really love the shape of those books too. Like they're
tall and thin.
Yeah, they're tall and thin, easy handhelds. I like that.
So each of these were $9 or $10, so $9.99 from Books-A-Million. So also not like dagger in the pocket, but anyway, another new thing to get into that I think, at least for me and hopefully Jesse too, is something that we can just kind of sprinkle in, like as we go in between like 1,300 page beasts.
Yeah.
So anyway, 2 Terry Pratchett books, which also I didn't realize I had already read Terry Pratchett before. And it was one of my least favorite books I've ever read. So I'm really hoping to change that idea for Terry Pratchett because like I've heard a lot of good things, but I read Good Omens, and it just wasn't for me. So hoping to get back into more of it. It was also set on Earth, and I don't know why, dude. Fantasy stories set on actual Earth, it's tough. It's a tough sell for me.
Yeah.
I want another world.
Yeah. No, I mean that's fair. All right, cool. I'll do 2 as well. So these are both from Second and Charles. This is the place in a previous episode that we did a much bigger book haul on where we both bought like 15 books.
Yeah.
First one is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. Obviously.
That one looks old.
Yeah, this is an old one. This is a let's see.
Tell me when that was.
This is a 1982 print.
Okay.
Book came out in 1960. I think, according to this. That might not be right. But To Kill a Mockingbird, we all know what that is. It was $1, so I thought I'd grab it. And then I got this other one by Ayn Rand called Atlas Shrugged. when I was perusing through the classics section, I just saw this, and then for some reason the title Atlas Shrugged just like grabbed me. And then I read the back, and it's really short. It just says, the astounding story of a man who said that he would stop the motor of the world, and did. Tremendous in scope, breathtaking in its suspense, Atlas Shrugged is unlike any other book you've ever read. It's a mystery story, not about the murder of a man's body, but about the murder and rebirth of a man's spirit. If, after reading Atlas Shrugged, you find, as most readers do, that you want to reread it many times, I'm not reading the rest of that, bro. The back of this book is promoting a hardcover version of this book.
Go.
Give me a break.
3.69 rating.
Yeah, it didn't have a great rating, but I just thought
cool,
I'd give it a chance. It was $3.25.
I mean, it looks like it's kind of thick.
It is thick, dude. And look, little words, small margins.
How many pages is that? Let me guess. That's 632 pages.
Bro, it's 1,080.
Oh, yeah, you're reading that real soon, brother.
No, this one's not coming up anytime soon.
It does look cool though.
So yeah. Atlas Shrugged. If you've read that or know anything about it, drop a comment.
Yeah.
We get a lot of comments on our videos, so I'll try to find it.
It's tough for us to respond to all of them, so if we don't get back to you guys, we're famous, so it's really tough. Next book I got, and this is just,
dude,
second time buying this, so I really do love that. Thanks, Ken Loach, for taking my copy 7,000 miles away. So if you see this, Ken.
Not close.
This is for you. I better get my other copy back. I'm not betting on it though. But anyway, Jesse and I, if you haven't seen it already, we just had I guess we did a non-spoiler bit for a little bit. But anyway, a full-on review of The Shadow of the Gods. And so The Hunger of the Gods is the second book in the series. And like I said before, I had it, but my dad read the series before I got a chance to, and he moved across the world, so he took it with him. So therefore, I don't have another copy. So anyway, gotta have it. Super. John Gwynn does such a good job with his covers too. So I don't know if I like it as much as Shadow of the Gods, just because Shadow of the Gods is so epic. But it's still really good.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I'm excited to read that one, man.
Oh,
Shadow of the Gods was a really good read. So that one looks like it's a tiny bit thicker too.
I think it is. I don't know if you remember how many.
It was like 480.
Should I read the last page?
Please don't. Don't do it, bro.
I'm going to squint my eyes just to see the number. 625 pages.
Oh, yeah. It's a good bit thicker. That's like
Is it?
150 pages ish,
Maybe.
somewhere around there. No, I mean for sure.
Yeah.
Sick.
Dude, I knew it, bro. I told you.
Oh wow.
I knew it.
So okay, so that Google search was wrong then.
I love that.
Yeah,
I love that.
That excites me.
I love that.
Yeah. Wow.
Sorry.
Wow. If you're listening or watching, you have no idea what you just said.
If you've never, well, and if you've even not read the first one, it won't matter. But if you have read the first one and not the second one, Bior is a POV character in this. So if you haven't read the first one, that means nothing to you. But if you have,
if you end up reading the first one, you now know that Bior does not die because he's in the second one.
Yeah, but you also don't know why it could matter that he's a POV.
True. Okay, sick.
Should I do another one, or are you gonna go?
I'll go. I'll do one. So
that was $20. I paid full price for that book, by the way, but it is kind of newer. I was expecting to pay full price for that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a newer book. You're not going to find a lot of deals for that. So this was one I got from Thrift Books. One of my friends actually told me that you and I should read this. He thought we should do an episode on it at some point. This is by Kurt Vonnegut, Slaughterhouse Five. This is a really popular book. Honestly, I don't know what it's really about. This says Slaughterhouse Five is one of the world's great anti-war books, centering on the infamous firebombing of Dresden. Billy Pilgrim's odyssey through time reflects the mythic journey of our own fractured lives as we search for meaning in what we are afraid to know. So, yeah, I've heard this is like just a really deep thinker type of book. Like, it'll just kind of make you really...
It's got over a million ratings.
Does it really?
3 million.
Wow. So yeah, Slaughterhouse Five, Kurt Vonnegut. I've heard this author is
that
great.
One? That one looks old too.
Yeah, this one is also old. This one is from. This is a 91 edition. It was written in 66. It looks like, according to that.
Okay.
So yeah, excited to get into that one. It's a short read too, so I think we'll probably do that one soon.
Yeah. That's
from Thrift Books. I got that one for like maybe $3, and then I got another copy of I can never say this guy's name, Fyodor Dostoevsky, Crime and Punishment. I don't know where my copy I had was, but I got this one off Thrift Books for like $1, and it's got all kinds of notes and underlines in it. So I love when I can read a book and then see what somebody else thought was important.
Yeah.
Just love that.
Dude, that one copy I sent you that was
oh, that looked really cool.
That one was super
cool. Yeah, that one looked sick.
I like it when they do new covers. I love a good cover art.
Love a good reprint.
Oh, exactly. So these next 4 that I have are all hardbacks, and they were all bargain priced at Books-A-Million, so it's the only reason I bought them. First one up, Jesse was pissed when he saw this. But it's The Guns at Last Light. So it's volume 3 of the Liberation Trilogy by Rich Atkinson. Rick. Oh, did I say Rich?
Mm-hmm.
I meant Rick. I'm sorry, Rick. When you see this, Rick, I'm sorry. Please still come on our podcast. So this one's specifically about the war in Western Europe. $9.97 for this boy.
I mean, and that's literally... I bought the whole trilogy paperback, and I think it was...
This is a $46 book.
Yeah, I mean, I bought the whole trilogy paperback, and I think it was $70.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes me so angry.
This is actually the second one. So Jesse, like he said, he has all of them in paperback.
Yeah, they're down here.
You probably can't see it from the camera angle, but up there I have the first one in hardback, and I got it from Second and Charles for nothing. So I only need the middle one now. So anyway, obviously saw it, and I'm like, I mean, hardback, basically brand new. I mean, it is new. It's never been owned before. $9.97. For a $46 hardback.
Yeah, and that's honestly, in my opinion, the only time you should be buying a book from Books-A-Million is if you get that bargain price. They have a massive,
bargain price section.
Yeah.
I mean...
And it's always books like, or not always, there's a lot of books that just don't do well that are there, but then there's also books like that are really popular, but they clearly just have way too many copies of it, so they just end up bargain pricing them because they have them too long. So,
oh, yeah.
That's sick. Cool. I'm excited to get into that trilogy at some point. It's going to be good.
Yeah, we'll have a nice learning session for everybody who's tuned in.
Good World War II. It's like a very globally acclaimed series. So next for me is David Sedaris, When You Are Engulfed in Flames. I did one of the most pretentious things I've ever done, and I Googled good books for intellectuals. which I'm not, but I just thought I want to kind of like try to branch out a little bit on buying cheap books. So I was like,
You've
what's a book
recovered
that's
from
like
that
really
Philadelphia
smart?
Massacre blight.
Dude, please.
And he's back.
Dude, are we going to get through one episode without you bringing that up?
Dude, I have to. It makes me feel better, dude.
So I'm not totally sure what this is
that
about.
fiction?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
It's like, it's about two students that something happens to them. I don't know.
The cover looks sick. Wait, where'd you get that at? Thrift or
This was thrift. This was like $4, and it's a little hardback too. So I mean, great deal.
I like the cover.
It's in good condition. Yeah, this is a painting by someone famous. I can't remember, like a famous artist that we've all heard of. But it's that little. If you're listening, it's that little skull like smoking a doink or something. Jake wants to get a tattoo of something like this. I kind of do too, like not exactly this, but some sort of skull. I think he said he wants to get it on his left butt cheek. I can't remember. You're up.
It's a good spot. Mm-hmm. All right, next one is a book called Britain at Bay, The Epic Story of the Second World War, 38 to 41 by Alan Allport. So, got this book for $7.97. Here it is for those viewing. Had good reviews from Margaret Macmillan, which you can't.
Great author.
If she says it's a good book, surely it's a good book. Also, $35 book, $47 in Canada. Really hate to hear that for them up north. But anyway, I honestly mainly got this book because I saw that you had. I mean, not that it means anything because we both have so many in our two reads on Goodreads, but
yeah, I have that one on there.
I saw that and I was like, all right. And you know me, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate you buying that for me.
World War II.
Love a good World War II book.
Of course.
Sick. How many do you have left? Just two?
Just two.
All right, I'm going to do two right now. So next up for me is the Pulitzer Prize winning book by John F. Kennedy, Profiles in Courage. This was like something very, very early on in JFK's career that he wrote. I've read a lot about it in biographies and other things that revolve around JFK and his career and life, but I've never actually read it. I've seen a lot of snippets from it and stuff like that. So kind of just like I wouldn't say a novelty thing to have because I will read it, but it's kind of something I've always just wanted to have a copy of.
So what's it about? His commentary on what?
Just kind of like, I think it's, my understanding is it's like his take on like Americanism essentially, like what it is to like be American to a degree. But he also kind of just talks about some of his life and like what's going on in different times. I mean, to be honest, I really don't know fully. I've just seen a couple quotes. I just know it's written by JFK, and he's, a person I like to read a lot about in history. So I think it'll definitely inform me more on him and, his thoughts and personality and that kind of stuff. So Profiles in Courage by JFK himself.
It's just really funny that you would buy, a book from your favorite historical leader that they wrote. And, I haven't really bought the book that my favorite historical reader wrote.
Mein Kampf. Yeah. Dude, I hate you. Next up
Speaking
for me.
of Mein Kampf.
Next up for me is Ben McIntyre one. I've read a few of his books. He's really good. Mostly writes about like espionage stories and World War II centered stuff. This one's about, it's called Rogue Heroes, the history of the SAS, Britain's secret special forces unit that sabotaged the Nazis and changed the nature of war. One thing I love about World War II books is every single subtitle says the story about something that changed the nature of the war. It's like every single one of them just irrecoverably.
That was a big word to pick right there.
I should not have gone that route. But just every story is one that like, wow, if this didn't happen.
I haven't read that book, but I got a big feeling that I'm sure it had an impact, but I just don't know.
I mean, they all just absolutely changed the course of the war.
I just don't know if Britain really changed the course of that war for the better.
Oh, no. Ben McIntyre one. He's a great author. Some of his books are better than others, but I always enjoy them. So, yep.
So this is a book that I already own, but I bought it for my podcast co-host because this is one of the coolest. See that little smudge there? That's what I was talking about. But I mean,
yeah, dude, take it back.
A little whiteout can't get out. But anyway, it's a book called Lenin, the Man, the Dictator, and the Master of Terror by Victor Sebestin. I probably said your last name wrong, Victor. I'm sorry, but I've actually read this book, and it was fantastic. I have it in paperback, but anyway, I just think it's so cool. $9.97 hardback, $35 book again. But anyway, this is a biography on Lenin, who, I mean, this is, one of the probably third or fourth book I read, like when I got into my Russian history kick. And I mean, he's such a fascinating figure, honestly. Such a fascinating figure. I mean, look at that. It's a thick boy hardback, $9.97. Great book. It really is such a good book. And it's a tragedy because mine is like kind of coming apart. You can't tell here, but like the back right here, it's like how this paperback is, like it's kind of flailing out away from it. But anyway, one day I'm probably going to read that book again. If I don't read Lenin's Tomb is another one that I've heard is really good, based off Lenin. And anyway, he's just a fascinating figure that, look, I'm not going to go pro Lenin here, but
I mean,
I would have liked to have seen him live a little bit longer and see what history would have gone to, because he was just starkly different from what Russia ended up becoming through Stalin. But not to say, I mean, obviously he did a lot of bad things, but I don't know. He was one of the few people who actually walked the walk when it comes to communism, as far as like living in a super small apartment, didn't have houses and like women and all these things. Like, I mean, he was kind of about it, whereas, in communism, everyone else is like, all right, yeah, you have nothing and everybody shares nothing, but
I'm going to be super rich.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So again, not justifying Lenin, but he's just a very fascinating guy who I think gets thrown in with Stalin as far as like the hardcore aggression, which he was aggressive, but just it's not in the same way. He was just very passionate about the politics. He really cared about the politics.
Yeah.
Which is just kind of fascinating to me, at least.
Yeah, and a lot of the time, reading about people who did a lot of bad things or who were, at this point in time, looked back upon in a negative light is still really interesting to read about.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're sometimes the most interesting people. I mean, there's heroes and there's villains. We like reading about both of them. All of us do. That's why everybody loves Darth Vader. So, cool. Next up for me is by John Meacham, who is quickly becoming one of my favorite authors to read. This is called Franklin and Winston, an intimate portrait of an epic friendship. Obviously, Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Winston Churchill, who were two of the giants of the World War II era, obviously. So not much to be said. It's just kind of about their relationship, which was really tumultuous, and, a lot of crazy stuff went down. And I think this one will be good. Again, John Meacham is like just so good.
I haven't read John yet, but I mean,
yeah, he's really, really good. This is a $20 book. I got it for $5.50. So I did actually. I remember
that one's
I went
in really
above.
Good condition though. I feel like.
Yeah, the only thing is it's the spine's just kind of bent
someone's
up.
read it. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Someone's
nothing wrong with the pages or anything. So. Yeah, I went over $5 for one of the books, The Second and Charles. It's because I saw this and I was like, man, I love John, so I'm just going to go for
John,
it.
Man. What a guy.
Yes, and then my last one is a biography on Muhammad Ali by Jonathan Eig. Obviously, Muhammad Ali, arguably the best boxer of all time, and also had a lot of other like crazy stuff in his life, with his beliefs, becoming a Muslim, and all the other stuff that kind of happened in his life. The civil rights stuff, all that kind of stuff. So inspiring figure in history, and in sports. Mike Tyson to this day still calls him the greatest boxer ever. Or maybe he says Floyd at this point. I think he says Floyd now. But either way, we all know who Muhammad Ali is. Big guy.
Big gay. All right, so last one I have, because I just don't have enough books on this topic. To pull from, man. But I mean, I could not buy this book. This book has a 4.54 rating on Goodreads. Granted, it only has like 1,000 reviews, but I mean, still clearly a solid book. But it's called Hitler and Stalin: The Tyrants in the Second World War, by Lauren Rees, maybe Rees. Anyway, I mean, I just. This is my favorite time period in history, if you can't tell by the top shelf, which you probably can't see from our camera angle. But anyway, $9.97 for this book, $35 book, $44 in Canada. Again, hate to hear that for Canada. I mean, it's a $20 book on Kindle.
Wow.
So you get nothing. You get no physical copy, and I got a hardback.
Dude, I'm just gonna have to crank your audio in post.
Dude, I don't ever even.
If you could
notice it when
see
I
what
edit.
I'm seeing, like my vocal, like my audio is like 5 times the size
It's
of
because
yours.
you're making out with the mic, dude. If you
No,
came
dude, I'm
back
at the
here
proper
too,
place. Because if you're this far back, I can only turn it up so much in post, and then people have to turn their volume like all the way up to hear it.
I've never once had to turn my volume up to hear any of our podcasts. If anything, when I'm editing, I turn it to where it's like I'm at like 22 out of 100 on my Mac or on my PC because it's so loud.
I mean,
It's
when I play it
so
in my
loud.
car, dude, I have a hard time hearing you. I had the volume all the way up today, and I had a hard time hearing
Bro,
you.
that Altima's doesn't have the best.
It wasn't the Altima, it was my work car, a Kia
Oh.
Soul. And it honestly, the Kia Soul
Is
kinda
it
got
the
some
newer
sound.
ones? It's got what, the Apple Play, CarPlay in
and
it.
it's got CarPlay and everything, bro. I'll be rolling around
Alright,
like
fine,
rich
dude.
folk.
I'll get right here, guys. What is it?
I mean,
guys
that's
on
better.
Audible.
That's better.
I mean, I'm never gonna stay right here. I'm gonna have to get a freaking external mic because I can't. I already slouch.
well, you can
so-
adjust the arm.
Yeah, I can, but then I can't move. Then I'm like just all.
You're also risking unplugging it.
Exactly. So what do you want? You want me to unplug, or you want me to be slightly less loud than you?
I want you to
What
do
about
everything
now?
I want you to do and make me happy.
Yes.
All right, so that is our little book haul from Second and Charles, Books-a-Million and Thrift Books. Let's jump into the first.